Here are 35 tips and tricks to make you an insane player at Party Animals Infection mode. At the beginning of each round, one person will be chosen at random to be the first person infected. It doesn't matter how close you are to the book, it is completely random. However, you can purposely infect yourself by holding the book, but this only works for the first infection of that round. If you are confident you can catch people, being infected first is great, as you can collect lots of points from infecting others as you get 100 points per infection, and you also get a bonus 150 points once you get infected. If you're holding the book with multiple people, it will choose between one of you at random. After infecting yourself with the book, don't forget to throw it away to reposition it. You can knock someone out with it for a free infection and get a great start to the round. Also, starting off as the infected player grants you a free power-up, which you can check what it does by bringing up the scoreboard and checking the bottom right. You might notice that it's a bit hard to climb almost anything in this game mode, which is by design. You can only climb on things that are colored yellow. One of my favorite things to do is find a very high climbing spot and dangle myself off of it. Your stamina drains very slowly, and if you're in trouble, you can easily climb back and reset your stamina. For older viewers, you might recognize this one, the Super Punch. This move gives you a lot more forward momentum to move from platform to platform a lot easier and makes you less wobbly. This move is perfect for this game mode as it really rewards good parkour skills. You can perform the Superman punch by running, punching, and then jumping immediately after pressing punch. However, did you know that you can do even more with the Superman punch? You can launch yourself incredibly far forward and also higher by delaying your jump. Practice this in a custom game to get the feel for it, but generally you want to jump at the very end of the punch, so that the momentum from the punch launches you forward. There are lots of good spots on this map which you can only reach with a delayed super punch, and this will up your parkour game massively. However, it's important to note that your character will get incredibly wobbly while landing if you're not going up in elevation after using this trick, so be careful about becoming an easy target. Here is a list of all the power-ups. For goodies, we have a speed boost that massively increases your movement speed, Banana Enjoyer that spawns bananas after you jump, Stamina Saver lowers the stamina cost of actions like jumping, rolling, and grabbing, Double Stamina increases your stamina cap, Invisibility makes you invisible for a short period, All In exposes your location for double points and whoever infects you earns double points too, Smoke Grenade massively decreases the vision of infected players within its range, Fake Infection briefly disguises yourself as an infected player. However, as of this video going live, you can tell who's infected or who a goodie is just by looking at the coloured dots on the minimap. And Resistance Boost, which makes you immune to being knocked out and a lot harder to infect. But be careful, this has no effect if you activate it while already being knocked out. For infected skills, you can get a double jump to jump again mid-air. No Traces, which removes your paw prints and glowing eyes to goodies. Expanded Vision increases your field of view and zooms your camera out, allowing you to see further. Halo of Slowness slows down nearby goodies in a small radius around you. Info Hazard lets you spread the curse faster when you hold onto the book, and you gain points whenever someone gets infected in the curse's range. And Pulse of Perception shows you where goodies are hiding in a minimap's radius around you. As a goodie, the blue shrieking lines means you are currently being revealed by this skill. Feel free to pause the video and read the full power-ups list. Each power-up for both goodies and the infected are not permanent and only last a short duration, so try and memorize where they spawn. The 12 spawns are as follows. On the green bin outside the main building, directly next to spawn, directly opposite the main building and spawn between these two patches of grass, on top of this white container to the right of main building, next to the ladder outside the back of main building, on the second floor at the rear of the main building on top of this platform, at the midpoint of the ramp in the rear of main building, on this concrete platform next to the staircase leading up to the sign on the left of the building, at the bottom of the stairs leading down to the basement at the right of spawn, on this piece of metal towards the big hole in the wall in the fish room at basement, at the rear of the big room on the main building, in the locker room on the ground floor of the main building, and in the middle of this corridor on the ground floor. As a goodie, think about these spawns and plan your chase to run into a power-up on purpose mid-chase, as it could be the difference between you escaping or not. The stamina power-ups are fantastic by themselves, but they also completely refill your stamina upon use too. The green mist that expands from the book reveals where goodies are hiding with no height limit. So, if you're infected, you should move the book in the middle of the building so it covers a wider area. People can still hide outside, but it's easier to catch them as there's less places to hide. If you're a goodie, you have different options with the book. You can decide to move the book into the corner of the map so you don't get revealed, or you can stay nearby the book, gaining infinite stacking points at the cost of revealing yourself to other players. But be careful as it's very risky. Only go near the book when you know no one is nearby to infect you. Not only are infected players faster than goodies in general, but the green radius of the book also slows down the movement speed of any goodies within its radius by about 25%. Green lines coming off of your character means that you're currently in the book's radius. Remember how I said the resistant bonus skill makes you immune to being knocked out? This also applies to falling from high places, so you can get an infected to fall down with you while mid-chase, and they get knocked out while you don't. The all-in power-up doubles your points but reveals where you are, and this also applies for the gigantic points bonus if you survive the round without being infected. You can get thousands of points for surviving with this, and I fully expect it to be nerfed soon, so abuse while you can. There are lots of different ways you can score in this game mode. You can score points as a goodie by knocking out infected players with either yourself or with weapons, by staying nearby an infected player. Every 30 seconds you stay uninfected, with a huge bonus for surviving the round that increases based on how many other players are infected. And you can score points as an infected player by witnessing someone else infect another player, infecting a player yourself, and by sharing an infection with another player. Weapons are quite powerful to goodies, and they are even more powerful for the infected. As a goodie, try your best not to be hit by the weapons, as you can still be infected while being electrocuted by the taser and while being frozen from the ice gun. If you're trying to infect a frozen player, you need to keep their ice block as still as possible, otherwise the infection doesn't work. It's in your best interest to grief other players in this game mode and try to get them infected. Even though you're on Team Goodie or Team Infected, you are playing and scoring for yourself and yourself only. As a goodie, I love to knock out other goodies and throw them towards infected players. This also helps you indirectly to not be spotted. The book's infection radius grows slower over time if there are more people infected. If I'm infected and fighting to catch a goodie among other players, I love to knock out other infected players first, then infect the goodie, as you get lower points if you share the infection with another player. And you only get 20 points if you see someone get infected in front of you. Arrows on the map show where goodies are hiding. Arrows pointing upwards means they're on a higher floor than you, circles show people who are on the same floor as you, and while arrows going down means they're on a lower one. This applies to any icon on the map. While jumping and parkouring in a spot where you need to sort of spam jump a lot, I recommend letting go of the run button. I find that if I hold down run, I tend to overshoot my jumps and fall off buildings, while going slower allows you to reposition yourself better. If you're already holding a power-up, if you walk over to another one, it replaces the one you're currently holding without consuming it. So always use your power-up before picking up another one, so you can essentially stack 2 power-ups at once. You can only see in a cone shape in the direction your character is facing, not your camera. Everything in black and white is in fog of war, meaning a goodie could be there even if you don't see them. You can, however, see infected eyes glowing and paw prints through the dark. So you can use this to your advantage while being chased and break the line of sight the infected have on you by turning corners and hiding around objects. I have managed to sneak and get away from so many infected people this way. Move unpredictably to try and bait and weave your opponents into different directions. Pretend to go in one direction, then quickly turn to another. When I need to regain my stamina, I like to spam jump and move erratically so it's harder for them to grab me. I also really like to use the invisibility potion while turning a corner and then start walking in a different direction. That always confuses others on where you went. However, remember that you can still be tracked with the shriek marks from the book radius or by an infected using pulse of perception while invisible. Also, when you go invisible while holding a gun, other players will see the guns hovering in front of them so they can see where you are. When there is 30 seconds left on the timer, the hunting hour begins. Any uninfected goodies left on the map get revealed, so if you're one of these, you should leave your hiding spot and find somewhere that you can easily run away from instead. When playing as an infected, always try your best to knock out someone before grabbing them to infect. Not only is it a lot faster to infect someone that's already down, but it means that they can't struggle from your grasp and knock you out. If you do knock someone out and they're about to wake up, grab their head and spin in a circle. This is the best way to hold on to someone without them flailing and kicking you to stop the infection. Also, you need to grab onto someone with both paws to be able to infect them. Holding them with one paw just doesn't work. It is possible to knock out infected players, but keep in mind that they wake up incredibly fast, so always immediately run away afterwards. And if you can, try and punch them off of high places. And bring up the score list to see what power-ups other players are currently using. In the top left, you can also see how much of your power-up is left. And that's it! Thank you so much for watching another tips and tricks video. Please leave a comment if you do have any more questions regarding this game mode. And if you're new to the channel, I upload loads of different party animals tips and tricks videos, so please go check those out as well. Goodbye!